Thank you, Mr. President. I stand today to support this bill, and I just am incredibly disheartened about what's happened over the past few weeks here in the Senate, because our children should be the one wraparound that we can all get behind. You know, get politics, move aside, forget party. Our children should be the one thing that we can all get behind. Now, last year, teachers felt that they were underpaid, and I agree completely. I think we all did. The only disagreement last year is we had just come out of a major budget recession where both sides sat many nights, late night, trying to cut $50 million out of Medicaid, our most vulnerable of citizens in our state. And we were trying to have to pull away $50 million from those people. But we made cuts, we made changes, we boosted our economy, and last year we had about a $27 million surplus. The pay raise last year was about $100+ million. We had to figure out where that money came from. But we agreed 100% with their teachers who were concerned that they were paid at the bottom of the scale. They were ranking 47th, 48th, 49th in teacher pay, and we agree with them. And so we pushed everything we could to give them a raise last year, and we're trying to do so again this year. But we're trying to do something else this year, Mr. President. Our students are also ranking at the bottom. Our students are also 47th and 49th, and it's time to do something about our kids. So what I would ask any parent tomorrow when they're trying to figure out how they're going to have to get someone to watch their children because the teachers have decided that they disagree with what the Senate is trying to do, I would like them, when the parents go and ask them, to explain to them what part of the 20 components of this bill was so detrimental that you felt you had to shut down education and shut down academics for my child. Was it the 5% additional pay raise when the Senate understands that it is imperative that we get our teachers and service personnel up to competitive salaries with their neighbors so that they're not encouraged to go across state lines and leave the state? That's about a $65 million price tag that the Senate is trying to help with. Number two, was it the $2,000 math bonus for teachers? When the Senate realizes that our kids are finishing 49th in math consistently for decades. Maybe those in this chamber that are fighting so hard against this bill have a feeling of guilt because they did have the opportunity to make those changes. I remember looking back at the budget when we were in those crises and looking back just about 20 years ago when within a couple years we had $1 billion excess. And I looked, and during those years, teachers and service personnel didn't get a single dime in pay raise. Maybe it's because our kids, 70%, have to take remedial classes when they graduate high school, trying to go into college because they still aren't proficient in math. You know, I've gotten texts and emails from teachers, of all people, saying, well, that's not going to do anything. Well, it's better than doing nothing, Mr. President. It's a start. Maybe number three, when we gave more flexibility to the counties for salary supplements so that when that county knows they have critical needs areas, whether that be special ed or whether that be science or math, when we gave those counties the additional funding far and above to recruit those teachers to take care of the kids. So when they stand up here and they say, oh, this bill doesn't help children, I would disagree. Number four, when we talked about a $250 tax credit for school supplies, we heard time and time again, and we know it for a fact. My mother was a teacher. I've heard those stories. I know for a fact she did this. You see a kid without shoes, this is more for school supplies, but you see a kid without backpacks and protractors and things that they need. They get out of their pocketbook and they dole that out. This gives them a little bit, $250 of that money back. Number five, when we give a $500 bonus, the state superintendent says, we got a problem. You know, our teachers are missing 14.7 or so days a year. How can they be teaching when they're not in the classroom? So we understood that. And we tried to put a bonus, $500 bonus, if you miss 4 days or less. We understand that everybody has to have a doctor's appointment, and you have to have some days off. But for striving for that attendance, we tried to bonus them. Number 6, voters approve regular school levy increases. We know that the local control is the best thing. We are the only state. Governor Manchin understood that. Governor Tomlin understood that. That we're the only state that has all the control right here in Charleston. Why is it that legislators in Charleston should be telling somebody on the opposite end of the state what their county needs in terms of education? We try to give that control back. Number 7, open enrollment. If a parent and a student feels that a better school will cross the county line and that school is willing and able and has the seats available to take them, why can't they have that option? Number 8, $24 million more for student support and personnel. I would like the teachers to tell the parents when they're striking tomorrow, when I have heard time and time again that, guys, you don't understand. School is not what it used to be. Drug epidemic has ravaged these kids. They're from broken homes. We've heard that, and we're trying to do something about that. We've placed a school counselor, a social worker, a nurse into every school in this state, and we've provided an additional $24 million to do that, to try to help. School attendance changes. When children are truant, we gave more latitude to the school boards to try to reach out to those. Maybe it's foster. We have an incredible foster, or maybe it's other guardians because they don't have parents, to try to help those children get to school. When we've put in the school aid formula to maintain 1,400 students, to make sure that all counties have funding to maintain their schools, to maintain their buses. This is what somebody voting no for this bill is voting no against, Mr. President. This is, I guess, what I would ask to the teachers if you were from these counties. If you're from Berkeley County, you're saying, why were you against Berkeley County receiving $3.2 million more in our county schools to help with education, to help fix the problems that we're talking about? If you're from Braxton County, why would you strike because the Senate's trying to give you $650,000 more to your county education? If you're from Cabell County, $938,000. Doddridge County, $1.57 million. Greenbrier County, $307,000. Harrison County, $661,000. Kanawha County, $1.48 million additional dollars. Marshall County, $1.6 million. Mason County, $420,000. Monongalia County, $1.9 million. If you're striking in Putnam County, $2.2 million. Ritchie County, $2.7 million. Tyler County, $3.8 million. Upshur County, $227,000. Wood County, $80,000. Wyoming County, $1.1 million. Is that what they're striking about tomorrow, Mr. President? Number 12, it clarifies that work stoppages can't affect the 180 days. Those teachers are contracted for 180 days. If they choose to strike, there's not a person in this state that expects to get paid if they purposely walk off the job. Now, if those teachers make it up, absolutely they should be paid, and that's what the bill says. No extracurricular activities if they choose to voluntarily strike. What message are we sending to our children that we're trying to stress the importance of academics and an education, and this is going to be what brings them out of poverty? If it's okay to cancel academics, but it's not okay to still go play ball in the evening. Number 13, maybe it's teacher input on student promotion. Who knows better than a teacher if a student has achieved academic success and needs to move on? What benefit are we possibly giving that child when we advance them knowing that they can't read or they're not proficient in math to go to the next grade level? We're giving that power back to the teachers. Public charter schools. A cookie cutter doesn't help everybody. We've heard arguments here tonight that that what you do for one should be done for all. We have a problem of education in this state, and it's multifactorial. It's not, you can't point in any one direction, but the one thing we do know is that 44 states, Puerto Rico, D.C., have all implemented charter schools, and they are all having great success. Are every single school, charter school, having success? No. Is every single public school having success? No. But as a whole, they are succeeding. I've talked to 20-plus legislators across the country. They all, Democrat and Republican, said, they do work. Your kids will succeed. That is a tool that will help your children succeed. We don't need to pilot it. The country already piloted chartered schools, and they've worked. They are working. Is it the ESA account? So many teachers told me, said, you don't understand because there are so many special needs kids in our classrooms that they're so disruptive that we can't teach. And that's truth. That's truthful. If you have a very disruptive group, how can you teach? How can you expect the other ones to learn? So we've tried to provide a mechanism for special needs children. So those parents who understand that their child may not be the best fit in a public school system has some help. Well, the argument here tonight is, well, so what? $3,300 is not enough. You might as well give them nothing. Is that the argument? Because that's what I've heard tonight. There is no argument otherwise that we should do anything different.
Excuse me, the senator from Monongalia seeks recognition.
Mr. President, call the previous question, please.